They're too old for this.
For former co-star Maitland Ward on Pod Meets World, a rewatch podcast fronted by Will Friedle, Ryder Strong, and Danielle Fishel, who Maitland claims ignored her while visiting the set of Girl Meets World.
Okay, I wouldn't speak to you?
No.
I did talk to you.
No, not really. Not really. Unfriended me on Facebook.
I did not unfriend you on Facebook. I don't know. I truly don't know how that happened.
This coming decades after Maitland's late addition to the sitcom's cast in season 6.
I know it's going to be kind of a reverse Three's Company kind of thing, because I'm going to move in with the older boys on the show.
Maitland.
Okay, so just in case you guys are kind of unaware of what's really going on with the situation, so Boy Meets World was a show that was very popular in the 90s. I remember, I think my sister used to watch it a lot. I used to watch it again in the early 2000s. So pretty much what happened with one of the actors, like the actor who's kind of causing all the controversy. So she became an adult star a couple years after the show had aired.
Mattress actress.
Yeah. And then she pretty much came back to the show, I think, when the show had their sequel show. So the first show is called Boy Meets World. The sequel show is called Girl Meets World. I guess like the main character had a child or whatever. And that's kind of like where a lot of the controversy is coming in.
Well, hold on a second. So did she come back to the show after she became a mattress actress? And that's when she came back? That's when it happened?
Yeah.
And by the way, the fact you had to explain to these people what Boy Meets World is crazy. That's absolutely crazy. If y'all didn't know what that was, then shame on you. I mean, how young do you have to be not to know what Boy Meets World is?
I mean, it's a goated show. I'm not gonna lie, that show was on for a long time.
It was on forever. And I mean, it's a classic, like it says, goated. It's like a what do you call it? Like a cultural, iconic show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the backstory. So now she's back to the Girl Meets World podcast. And she thinks that they're throwing her shade because she makes money a certain way, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's over. It all sounds kind of childish right now, like, oh, you friended me on Facebook and now you unfriended me. Like, I'll be honest with you, I can't tell who friends me and unfriends me on half of these social media platforms because number one, I'm not on social media like that, and then number two, I don't care. like what's the worst thing that can happen when someone unfriends you? Like, they don't see what you're doing with your life. Like, who cares?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest though, I think that's just. She probably felt this thing the whole time she was there. And as she mentioned, she came along after everyone else had already established a bond.
Yeah.
She's at season 6. So everyone had already established a bond. They were friends.
Yeah.
And she comes on. So they already didn't have that same connection with her.
Yeah.
Then she leaves, starts doing some stuff that some people don't really agree with, comes back. So she probably does feel some type of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she probably thinks that like, a lot of people are looking down on her.
Yeah.
And if we're being honest, let's be completely honest. If you're working like corporate or you're working somewhere else, and let's say one of your employers or coworkers leaves, it becomes an adult star and comes back, the girls are gonna talk ish. Let's be real. The girls are gonna talk ish.
The girls are gonna talk ish, and the guys are gonna be like, yeah. So they're gonna try to find out what the name of the
yeah. They gotta do some research.
There you go. Some research. Yeah.
Lynn now feeling hurt by the co-host's past critiques of show creator Michael Jacobs and lead star Ben Savage, who's allegedly severed all ties with his castmates.
Listen, I think there's a divide too because you guys hate Ben and you guys hate Michael.
I don't hate Ben or Michael.
Like, you guys have
do not hate either of them.
No, I'm talking like if I'm talking about Michael yelling at me and like that's my experience, right? Like I was yelled at. I watched him do things. I can describe that.
Ben absolutely one day woke up and said, I don't want Will in my life and never told me why.
Maitland since pivoted from TV to adult film work, which she says made things awkward behind the scenes on Danielle's spinoff.
Listen, I mean, you didn't like the fact that I was getting a lot of attention at that time and going off in my own space and taking away like that attention.
I was on the cover of Maxim in 2014.
And I love that. I applaud you for that.
But I wasn't in any.
Catty.
Beyond cat. Not only that, but Lies, let's just be. And I'm not trying to look down on anyone because of their possible career. But she sounds crazy as hell. I'm sorry. like you're mad because all the attention I'm getting from being an adult star.
Right.
Nah, like that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any. And not to mention, like she just like Topanga. I forget her real. Danielle.
Yeah.
Topanga.
Yeah, I'm calling her Topanga.
So
she don't got no real name.
She no real name for real.
Topanga.
She said she was on Maxim, the cover of Maxim at that time.
Yeah.
So the two, I mean, because Maxim now may not be such a big thing.
Yeah.
Here we go explaining stuff again. That's just crazy.
Old folks,
That's
old heads.
Wow, we're not even old. At one point in time, Maxim was a pretty hot magazine. And so for you to be on the cover of it, it means something. So for her to be on the cover of Maxim magazine, and now this chick is saying that she outshined her because she was performing activities.
Gymnastics.
Yeah, that's delusional to me.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. But it sounds like nobody gets along in the cast because they said the main co-actor cut them all off.
Yeah,
and then,
Ben
like,
Savage, yeah.
Yeah, and then the guy made another comment like, "Oh, he just cut me out of my life, like they're brothers or something." Like, I mean, I don't know their history together. Because I mean, if you're on a show for 10 years, let's be honest, you're gonna be friends. Like you're gonna be very close friends at some point.
Of course,
in time.
you're either gonna hate each other really bad, or you can be very like the people from Friends, the show Friends.
Oh,
they love each other.
Yeah, yeah,
and it's not always like that.
yeah,
But like you said, 10 years is a long time, bro.
yeah. Like you're gonna like one of your coworkers.
You have to every day.
Yeah, every day for that long, and then.
Not to mention, it's different than like if you work in an office, you're not getting as intimate. But on these shows, they have to like do scenes where they're like Topanga was dated Ben Savage character.
Yeah.
Whose name I can't remember, which is
It's
crazy.
Corey. You don't remember Corey, bro?
I'm sorry.
That's the main character.
I know. I only focus on one person, obviously. But point is,
I did like Topanga, I ain't gonna lie.
I think everybody did. But what was I saying? Oh, so they had to shoot scenes where they would hug and kiss and whatever. I mean, anyway, I know, I'm losing my train of thought here. My point is that they will probably get a little bit closer than you would in an office setting because you're going to be more intimate in those.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And then some of it, I think, I can't remember the word of it. Don't shoot the messenger. It's kind of like when it's not necessarily scripted and then you just kind of go off of each other.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had a lot of that going on, so that's going to create more chemistry too. So, I mean.
Exactly.
Way upset. I didn't think you were. It was two totally different spaces. We've just had two totally different journeys in that, and they're both valid, and neither of them
different journeys. That's true.
are wrong.
She's coping. Nah. She was trying to make herself feel better. That's what I felt like.
What were you saying?
I feel like Maitland Ward, the redhead one, was trying to make herself feel better, talking about we've had separate journeys and both of them are valid.
Yeah.
I feel like that's trying to reassure herself to say, okay, maybe she's comparing herself to Topanga and she's like, oh, she's done better than me. I'm creating this whole narrative myself. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
And so in her mind, she's doing all this because she maybe feels a little bit, I don't know.
Left out, probably.
I
mean, but it's an awkward position to go on. I mean, you're like, it's the same as being a new coworker. If you ever come into a new company and then it's like all the coworkers are really close together and you're kind of like on the outside, like, yo, can I say this? Can I joke? Because like when people know each other, you guys can joke around. It's not a big deal. But if you're like the new person, you can't really crack a joke on because you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know whether or not like that person's sensitive. Like you don't know like the environment. So I mean, I can understand feeling like an outsider, and then especially her being like another girl, because I think Topanga was like the main girl for the longest time. So then another girl coming in there, girls are catty. Like who knows? Ultimately, I'm just gonna say this seems like a very just catty situation.
Yeah, it's definitely catty. It's definitely petty. If anything, it's helping the podcast blow up more because it's bringing attention to it. I had no idea this podcast existed until now.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I don't think I did either.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what it is? This is just one of those shows that, like, is part of my childhood and that's goated, but it's like I never revisit it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never revisit, like, because it's not like how, because, okay, basically, like, when growing up, you'd be a kid, you'd watch TV, reruns would come on. So even if you forgot about a show, like, you'd see a rerun or two and it'd be, like, good. You'd be like, all right, that's so great. But now it's like, first of all, I don't watch TV. I know a lot of people don't watch TV, so you kind of don't get the same like rerun experience where you'll see an old show again and you want to go back and look at it. It's just kind of at this point in time, just good memories.
That's pretty much it. I agree with you on that. Yeah. There's like no show I'd really go back. Maybe except Fresh Prince. Maybe.
I was about to say that's my favorite
that's
show.
Probably
so
only show,
I'll go back and watch it.
I think everybody was. That's like the top out of all those 90s sitcoms.
I think people normally say like, it's either between Fresh Prince and Martin. But they had
a
lot of great shows that are like underrated. Like Jamie Foxx show was good.
Jamie Foxx show was dope.
Steve
Harvey show was actually I really enjoyed the Steve Harvey show.
Like Mr. High Top.
Like, it was nice.
Yeah, it was good. Listen, even this isn't a 90s show, but I still count it. Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac show was really good. That's more 2000s.
Yeah,
right?
It's 2000s. Yeah.
What about what's our guy's name? Oh man.
What was he in?
Oh, the brothers were brothers.
Oh, Wayne's show.
Wayne's bro.
They had iconic,
There were a lot of good shows, man.
Yeah.
We had it good. I don't know what these kids have now. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But then again, like I said, I don't watch TV. I know most people don't watch TV anymore. I think the sitcom era has just kind of died.
It's
like
done.
I'm trying to think about like what sitcom do people really have?
No, you're right. And maybe it's also because the way TV has gone too. Now it's
Yeah.
all streaming stuff, but
And then I guess How I Met Your Mother is like the only.
oh, and The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, Big Bang Theory is the only one, but even that's kind of old now.
Yeah, you're right. Because people, it seems like the sitcoms don't last very long. Don't let it be on Netflix. They're gonna have a, bruh, because they have a great series and cut it.
Cut out of nowhere.
Like, yo, what are you doing? Like, so.
They're like, it didn't pick up. I'm like, yeah, because there's like, you ever gone on Netflix and it's literally the paradox of decisions. Because there's just so much. There's so much.
Exactly.
I actually kind of get stressed out when I'm looking through Netflix. I'm like,
oh, you're not the only
you
one.
know.
You spend more time trying to find something to watch than actually watching the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they've had good series though. Like, people have picked up, people loved it, and they canceled after like season 2.
Yeah, that's
And
so
people were
whack.
like, what are y'all doing?
And you gotta think the whole dynamic of a sitcom doesn't really work nowadays because it's like you gotta think what in a sitcom the main thing was what family, and then that you had a main character and he's going out and he's meeting people. People are so antisocial now. It's like how do you make a sitcom like main character goes to room, comes out, eats dinner, goes back to room, goes to school. There's a party, doesn't talk to the girl, but then messages her on Snapchat, and then they meet up, and then they crank it out. Like I mean, I don't know how a modern sitcom would work now.
Yikes. Good point. That's a good point.
Like I don't know.
That's a good point.
Got any closing thoughts? Were you gonna say good decision, bad decision?
No, I mean, I'm not, no. What I'm saying is, I don't even necessarily think it was a bad decision for her to go on there and air it out. I think she's been holding this back for a while. She's held it in. She wanted to get off her chest. She didn't really have a chance to. Went on the podcast, let it go. I personally speaking, I don't really have a problem with it. I'm not gonna lie.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not bad because I think someone made another comment that she saved it for the podcast so that way it get more views. So I guess technically that's not bad either. And you know, I can't really tell someone how to feel because I wasn't there, so I don't know. Because there's some times where people, and we've all experienced this, deal with someone who's very passive aggressive. So they might not come out and be like, "Yeah, I don't like you," but they'll do like little mini intergression. I know a lot of women do that because I hear about it all the time. So
Yeah, microaggressions.
yeah,
and
so
stuff.
I'm not sure. Maybe that did happen, but ultimately it seems like it's resolved because I think someone that watched the end of it said that they end up tying it up. And,
Squashed
you know,
it.
So, you know,
They squash it for the camera. But yeah, I feel you.
but you're right. Squashed it.
Yeah, it's not done. But hey, yeah.
Yeah. Ultimately, guys, I'm going to agree with Jay. I must say that it is a good decision. So you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know whether or not you think she made a good decision or not. Stay out of beef.